Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhavatapa Pranashinne Ananda Ghanamurtaye Jnana Bhakti Pradayine Matastubhyam Namo Namaha. Jai Ma. Okay, the last conversation was my Diksha from Baba, Ashok Baba. See, Ashok Baba was authorized by Ma to give Shri Diksha only. No other Diksha, but Shri Diksha. So he has a lot of people coming and he gives everybody in his own house. He's got a lovely mandir. And he was given the title of Vidya Vachaspati, Ashok Baba Kulkarni, from the Kolhapur Mutt of Shankaracharya, which is a very big thing. Okay, now after that was over, this was I think in 2005, right, my Diksha. But I'm going back a little bit in 2000 and 2001. That was a very, very beautiful period for me. I don't know how this happened, but I was sitting and chatting with my father one day and I decided that I want to go and interview all the Mahatmas on Ma. What do they think about Ma? And I would get a lot of insight, So it was a period in my life where I went just crazy. I went and got the camera. I bought a camera. I bought tripod stands, lights, everything, okay? And I wanted to shoot everybody in terms of filming, okay? Not otherwise. So I bought the camera, I bought the lights, I bought the tripod stand. Then one day I sat with my father and I said, I don't know why I'm going to be doing this, I'm just going to interview all of them, whoever gives me an appointment. And I want them to talk on Ma. It would be a beautiful treasure. So he said, it's a very good idea, you should do it. So here I am taking my camera and, my everything, all my equipment. I had a huge bag and I used to carry it, and I was younger, of course, so I could run around a lot more. And I went to Haridwar, Varanasi, wherever whoever was. So, all these interviews are on YouTube already, Christopher Pegler is the one who was editing and putting it up on YouTube. So he and I were kind of working together. I was doing all the filming. I had already done the filming and then Christopher entered, and he said, my God, what a treasure you have. So let's put it up on YouTube. I said, yeah, I don't know how to do all this on YouTube. I'm not tech savvy. He said, no, I will handle it. I said, okay. So, some of them spoke in Hindi and all that. So I had to sit and translate and transcribe everything and do it in English, So all the subtitles, mostly I have done. Some of them have been done by Swami Nirvananandji and some other people. So it was a very, very amazing period for me, actually. I went to so many different Mahatmas, Swami Bhaskaranji, of course, was the first person I think I interviewed. I went to Bhimpur Ashram and he tells me in Gujarati because he was a Gujarati and so am I. So he says, oh, Tufan laine aavya cho. Means you brought Tufan with you, like a hurricane you brought with you, because he was very camera shy, basically, and people shy to talk. He wasn't the kind of person who wanted to talk in an audience, or he never gave those kind of pravachans or lectures or anything, So we went to his room and he gave us a beautiful interview, It's all there on YouTube. I went to Swami Chidanandji, Divine Life Society. He was so wonderful. So, I want to narrate this. It's again in the book, but I'm narrating it. We went to Varanasi. Swami Bhajaranandji was there, Pushpadi, and she said, why don't you come here? Because every year in Kanyapith, there was an annual prize distribution day where Swami Chidanandji Maharaj, who used to come there to distribute prizes to all the students, because there's a Kanyapith running over there, which is like a Gurukul for girls. So Swami Chidanandji was to be there. And I said, I want to come and interview him. And I wanted, everybody, whoever was there in Kanyapith, and the teachers and the people who were, in charge of the Kanyapeeth or whatever, and who had been living with Ma since a long, long time. I wanted them to talk on Ma. So I went with my camera and the whole equipment and some other friends of mine. We all landed up. And I had informed Panuda was in charge that time of, he's no more. He was in charge of the Kanyapeeth and the ashram. So I spoke to Panuda and I said, I want to come there and I want to interview you and Swami Chidananji, Pushpadi, Geeta, Gunita, all of them were there. And I said, I want to interview everybody. So he said, come over. I don't know how far you'll be successful, but I will try to get you an appointment with Chidananji. So I said, okay, I'll come. I went there. And we stayed there for a couple of days in the ashram. Now, Chidananji that time was not in very good health. He was, he had a heart problem and he was aging also. So he had a lot of sevaks around him. So the first day, obviously, I didn't get the chance to interview him. And prior to that, I had already interviewed some of the ladies of the Kanyapeeth. And then I told Panuda, I said, look, I want to interview Swamiji. So he said, you keep quiet. Because, everybody used to bully me around. Well, you keep quiet. And I will talk to Swamiji and I will tell you when he gives the appointment. I said, okay, fine. So we kept quiet. It went on for 2 days. I was getting frustrated because I wasn't getting any appointment. Then one day, my friend and I decided that we will go straight to Swami Chidananji and talk to him. So we tried to go to his room and I was stopped by his sevak. And he said, no, Swamiji is not well and all that. So, we'll see when you can do it. I said, okay. And I was so disappointed. Next day, Panuda comes to know and he fired me. And he says, I told you not to go or do anything and that I would get you the appointment. Now I'm not going to get you the appointment. I said, okay, don't get me the appointment. I said, doesn't matter, let it be. So I told my friends, I'm very frustrated. Let's just go to Sarnath. So Sarnath was like a little far away. So we decided, okay, we'll go. Early morning, I left for Sarnath, because I wanted to see that place. And we went there, and I think I came back at 8 o'clock in the night. We went there at 8 in the morning and came back at 8. So it was like sightseeing and seeing the Buddhist, stupas and all that was wonderful. So we went there. Now, 8 o'clock in the night, when I come back, the watchman is standing outside very impatiently, And as soon as he sees me, he says, Didi, where were you? Where were you? So I said, what happened? So he said, Swami Chidananji is waiting for you in the satsang hall and he's been asking for you since a long time. And there's a satsang going on. And he says, as soon as she comes, you send her here. I said, oh my God, he's calling me. So I ran. I picked up all my equipment, my camera, my this, my that, and ran to the satsang hall. And I put all my equipment outside and Panuda was sitting and he gave me a glare like that, So I said, fine. Then I tiptoed into the satsang hall because there were so many people sitting over there. So I thought like quietly I'll sneak in, So when I entered, my back was facing Swamiji. He was on the cot. So I tiptoed and tried to sneak in and go and sit right at the back. And as soon as I tiptoed, Swamiji, I heard one voice saying, Neeta. So I turned around and it was Swamiji, Chidananji. And he says, sit down, So I said, yeah, I'm going to sit down. So I went and sat down. Now, after the satsang got over, everybody went to do pranam to him. And he was giving prasad to everybody. I said, I'll go last so that I can ask him whether he'll give me an interview. And when would he give it? So I was the last in line. I went to him, I did pranam. And I looked up at him. He has the sweetest face going, really. So I said, Swamiji, I want you to talk about Ma. When can you talk to me? And I want to film you. He says, now. I'm waiting for you. I'm going to do it now. I said, now? So he says, yes, right now. I was so thrilled. So I ran because, after such a lot of mehnat, I finally got the time and, from him. So I ran outside, I picked up my camera, and Panuda is still glaring at me. Now all the girls, he told everybody, go out, go out of the hall, and she's going to talk to me. So they all went out, but they requested, him that please Swamiji, let us sit over here and hear what you have to say and what is she going to ask you, and let us sit down, He said, I cannot give you permission. It's not my call. She's taking the interview. You have to take permission from her. I said, my God, look at him, So I said, of course, all of you can sit here, there's no problem. So all of them sat down again in the hall, and I started the interview. And that interview is on YouTube, which I'm sure most of you must have seen it, So that was interviewed by me. And then I asked him a question. Lots of questions I asked him. But when I asked him, what do you think Ma is, and he puts his hands up like this and says, absolute truth. It was so exhilarating to hear that. I mean, we are aware of all these things, but when, such Mahatmas talk about it, it's wonderful. So then I said, I had a question, and Pushpadi was sitting there, Swami Bhajananandji. So she says, she told Chidanandji that स्वामी जी इसको ना माँ ने कहा था कि ये एक ऋषि कन्या है, in Hindi, which means Ma had told her that she's a rishi kanya. So he just nodded like this. And then I asked him that, Swamiji, I have a question. When do you really meet Bhagwan? When do you really have darshan of God? When do you really come across God or have her association with God? Is only when your karmas are thinning out. They are kind of decreasing, and slowly the karmas get washed off, and that's when you get darshan of Bhagwan. Before that you don't. So I said, after meeting Ma, do I have to come back? Was my question. That I have already had darshan of that, which you just said, absolute truth. It is that. So do I have to come back? So he looked at me and he says, that you have to ask Ma. So I said, yeah, you're right. I have to ask Ma. So it was a wonderful interview I had with him. Wonderful person, wonderful. Then I did interviews with Swami Nirvananji. He was so sweet, It was like a child talking over there, which you'll see on YouTube. Now my whole idea is that I've taken interviews of so many beautiful people, and today it is a treasure. We don't get such things anymore. There are no more. So, at that time when I was doing all these interviews, I was asking my father, I said, why am I doing all this? Why is Ma making me run around like this with the camera, equipment, this, that? Swami Vijayanandji also, if I'm sure you people have heard of him. He was a French doctor, and he quit everything and came to Ma in 1951, and he never went back. He quit his job, his practice. It was a flourishing practice in France, I think. And he had a wife, children, everything. Everything, he just quit. And once he met Ma, that was it for him. And he was a great Mahatma. He was called Swami Vijayanandji. So I interviewed him also. He was so sweet. He says, can I hold your camera? Can I hold your bag? Can I hold your tripod stand? Give me something to hold. How many things you're carrying? It must be so heavy for you. I said, no, Swamiji. And he was in his 90s. I said, no, Swamiji, I'll carry everything. You don't worry. So that was in Haridwar that I took his interview. Very sweet people, So I was asking my father, I said, why is Mom making me do all this? What am I doing all this for? Interviewing so many people and all that. I said, for me, I cherish those moments because I got so much from them. See, on the spiritual path, it is very important to do satsang. It is very important to sit with Mahatmas, to listen to them, not to talk, but to listen to them. And you get so much from that. Ma always used to say, satsang karo, sadhuon ke saath baitho, mahatmaon ka suno. They are like a tree, and you are sitting under their shelter and listening to them, and they are protecting you all the time. It was really wonderful for me. So my father said, you will realize and know one day why you have done all this. Ma will reveal this to you. And today that day has come where, everybody is seeing those on YouTube and telling me that this is a treasure. What have you done? I said, I have done nothing. Ma made me run around and I really didn't know what I was doing. It was all Ma's doing. And today, yes, it is a treasure. So I am planning to bring all those YouTube videos because they are all with different videos of Ma, and I think they are on Ram 108 channel, YouTube channel. So I have requested Christopher that I want all those YouTube videos that I had taken to be put on my YouTube channel, So I'm going to try doing that, where all the ones I have interviewed, I will try and put it on my channel so that everything is in one place, what I have been doing. So that would be nice, So it's not mixed up with the other things, because sometimes people do ask me, did you do that? Like somebody said, I went to the ashram once and saw you over there. And I was wondering whether it was you who had done these interviews, So I'm eventually going to try and do it that way. So that's all for now. Jai Ma. Om Bhavatapa Pranashinne Ananda Ghanamurtaye Jnana Bhakti Pradayinne Matastubhyam Namo Namaha. Jai Ma, 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 Jai Ma.